Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In-Laws and Out of Bounds. I am your host, Hagen. Sitting across from me here is our other host, Emilio, and we're excited to be back. We are finally here. We've got the college football national championship coming up, NFL divisional rounds. It'll be a lot of fun. Got a lot to get into there. We're going to give our preview predictions on the national championship game between Indiana and Miami. We'll break that down, see what the keys to the to victory could be for each team, and then we'll get over into the NFL. We'll talk about some news. Really, the biggest thing is John Harbaugh going over to the Giants potentially and signing to be their long-term answer there for head coach. And then we'll break down the divisional games. We got 4 games this weekend, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday. A lot of exciting matchups. We'll get over into that. What's going on, Emilio?
It's the last game of the season, Brent. Can't hold anything back now.
Can't hold anything back, and we got here quick. We've been waiting on it for a long time, but it came quick. So before we get into it, we want to make sure that we mention, go check us out on all our social media stuff. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, TikTok, all that good stuff. Go check us out. We put out reels of this episode. We'll put out some shorter segments on YouTube. If you just want to listen to certain breakdowns or anything like that, or you couldn't check the whole thing, we're on there. Give us a follow here and a rating, hopefully a 5-star rating on Spotify. We'd greatly appreciate that. We'll get over on Apple at some point once I can figure it out. I'm just not that smart. So, yeah, go check us out there. And then we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Brewster Bird Hunt. Guys, they are the best in the business when it comes to dove hunting and upland birds. They're top-notch, best guides, best dogs. You know, they can track anything. They'll get after it. Doesn't matter if you're 100 or 100 hunters. They're going to take care of you. Make sure you go check them out. They were our sponsor for our bracket challenge as well. That, drum roll, we will have a winner this Monday, and that person will get the free 4-person hunt with Brewster Bird Hunts, and then your first, second, and third place are going to get some swag, man, right? Stuff we all get. So, yeah, I think that's it. We got any other announcements over there, Emilio, that I'm missing?
It's just the last game of the season, Brent. Can't hold anything back now.
Holding anything back. All right. Well, let's get into our preview here on the College Football National Championship. No reason to hold back now.
To start our prep as a team, we staffed yesterday, but we're with our players today. A huge challenge against a great Miami team. Very impressive, really, in all 3 phases. A lot of twitched up athletes playing fast, playing with a nasty edge. Coach Cristobal's done a great job. Offensively, quarterback Carson Beck really playing well. Receiving core impressive, offensive line veteran impressive, running back over 1,100 yards. Defensively, really shutting people down, creating turnovers, creating havoc up front. The 2 ends are a big challenge. Corey's got them flying around, and their teams are good. So, be a great challenge.
That was Kurt Signetti the past Tuesday, talking about the challenge that his Indiana Hoosiers are going to be facing going up against the number 10 Miami Hurricanes as they head into the national championship football game, January 19th, 2026, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. You can find that 6:30 local time for those in the central time zone there. We go into this game, which is effectively a home game for Miami. Indiana is going to be favored by 8.5 points going into this game. We got a 47.5 point over-under here. Little bit of a tale of the tape that we've got. Indiana Hoosiers come into this game 15-0 on their undefeated season. They're led by their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, who has played exceptional in the playoffs, throwing multiple touchdowns, no interceptions so far. They got here by defeating Alabama 38-3 in the Rose Bowl, and then defeating Oregon 56-22 in the Peach Bowl. This is the first championship game appearance in school history for Indiana. So a lot riding on the tape for them here. On the other side, they're going to be facing the number 10 Miami Hurricanes, who come in with a 13-2 record, led by head coach Mario Cristobal. Miami has 5 national championships in program history, their most recent coming in 2001, and it's seeking its 6th to add to the trophy case there. They got here by beating Texas A&M in the first round 10-3. Then they beat Ohio State 24-10 in the Cotton Bowl, and most recently beating Ole Miss 31-27 in the Fiesta Bowl that was capped by a late touchdown by quarterback Carson Beck. Miami is playing in Miami Gardens, which gives the Hurricanes a major fan presence as they are playing home. These two teams have only faced each other twice in this series, and both of those meetings came back in the 1960s. Each program won once apiece, and no playoff team has ever won at home. So, had its home stadium. So Miami could be the first to do that, get their first victory in a long time. That's a lot there. What do you think, Emilio? I'm gonna let you start before I start going too crazy.
Okay, so there's a lot here. I mean, when you talk about the role that Miami's been on, they've been on. Oh, absolutely.
Sorry.
There you go. When you talk about the role they've been on, man, they have really built a lot of momentum, and they're playing like a man possessed. All 11 on offense, all 11 on defense. They have galvanized this group together. They've played probably tougher competition, not necessarily tougher, but more physical competition to their road to the championship than Indiana has, which I think a lot of people are putting a lot of stock into. At least I got a coworker that is a massive Miami Hurricanes fan, and I've asked him 3 different times, how are you feeling about this game? And his response is, Indiana hasn't played anybody, and y'all are going to find that out. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Hey, that's it comes down to nobody expected this, or if you didn't expect Miami and Indiana to be playing in this national championship, you don't know ball, right? That's what a lot of folks are saying.
Yeah. I mean, so when you look at this matchup, to me, I've said it before and I'll say it again, they play the same style of football. It's a run first, pass off of the run, and play great defense.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the difference between these two teams is one team is extremely, extremely sound in what they do, defensively and offensively. And one bunch is very, very athletic, but typically undisciplined. Now, I think for me, the keys to this game for Indiana is I think Miami's playing without Keontae Scott, which is one of their guys in the secondary that is a big playmaker for them. Not that it's going to be a huge impact because Indiana doesn't exactly have absolute burners. They do have a very good wide receiver core, but nobody that's really just going to expose any individual secondary person. It's just a matter of them always being at the right place at the right time and knowing exactly what they need to do. So I think if Indiana is able to attack Miami's secondary and really stretch the field, I think some deep shots are going to have to be tried. Nobody's really tried that against Miami in these playoffs. Texas A&M did try, but Marcel Reed he can't fall out of a boat and hit water with a deep ball, so that wasn't necessarily successful. I think the other key for Indiana is to play with some tempo and to get up early. If they get up early on this team, I have a feeling that Miami's not a team that can come back from a deficit. We saw that whenever they played Louisville, they got down by 17 early and were playing catch up. And it's not a position that they've found themselves in very often this season. And granted, they haven't really played anybody either up until these playoffs started rolling. So you have a Miami team that has played from behind once and lost that game to a Louisville team that, is a decent squad, but nothing to write home about. So I think for Indiana, if you can say, let's just say Indiana gets the ball first, go on a long drive and put a touchdown on the board. A touchdown is much more significant than a field goal. If they do that, and they're able to get one stop, I think this game is going to be in Indiana's favor from that point on, because what Miami likes to do is short screen games and run the ball a lot. They don't exactly take deep shots. So, really, those things, and then just stay in discipline, which Indiana's done all year long. They're one of the least penalized teams in the country. They play very sound football. They are always in the right spots at the right times. They don't get out of position. They keep gap integrity on defense. It seems like their entire offense is always clicking. So I think just staying on course and being exactly who Indiana's been is going to be key. Now, the wild card factor in that is that Miami does have some legitimate athletes that can definitely cause trouble that Indiana might not have seen all year. Because I don't think they've played defensive ends like Indiana has, or that like Miami has. Those two guys are legitimate game wreckers. So it's going to be a kind of a matchup of, your classic schoolyard football and your prep boy football. And I don't know who's going to win. I know who I think is going to win, and I think Indiana is going to be that team that comes away with it. But at any point in time, this Miami team can blow the game open because they do have the athletes to do it. So there's a lot there. I mean, I'm excited about this matchup for a variety of reasons. It's interesting when you get two teams that play very similar but have very distinct differences.
Yep. Yeah, Miami's big key to the game is going to be their rushing attack. They've been averaging 173 yards per game on the ground. They've got over 519 total rushing yards in the playoffs here. They had 175 against A&M. They had 153 against Ohio State, and then 191 against Ole Miss. So it's been big. Mark Fletcher is going to be huge in that aspect. He had 172 against A&M, 90 against Ohio State, and 133 against Ole Miss. He's a big part of that. Let's listen to a little bit of what he had to say on that Indiana defense.
Well, especially that D-line. D-line big everywhere. They fly around, and them two linebackers, 21 and 4, those guys, they I know 4 is the leader of their defense. Great guy. He communicates in the back end. They do a great job covering and coming up the tackle. So I feel like my O-line just continue to just do what they've been doing all year, blocking guys. And I have my perimeter guys, my receivers, my tight ends continue to do their job blocking. We'll be just fine. It's gonna be a bang out though for sure. It's gonna be a bang out.
That was Mark Fletcher on Kirk Herbstreit and Joey Galloway's show there. So he's giving credit to Indiana and their defensive line and those linebackers that they've got. I like what you bring up as far as situationally in that aspect. You're going best on best here with these two teams as far as that defensive front seven and then Miami's, front seven, so to speak, with Fletcher and that offensive line and going head to head. That's really where it's going to be big. Situationally, though, Indiana leads the nation by a huge margin in third down conversion rate at 58.2%. And this is a wide gap, folks. Ohio State's number 2. And if you're looking up the ladder at them, they've got a lot of steps to get to Indiana. They do a very good job of making sure that they convert on those third down situations. Miami comes in at 18th with a 47.1% conversion on third downs. The Hurricanes don't hold an edge defensively here either, as Indiana is 8th at 30.3% and Miami is 11th at 30.8%, even though that gap isn't that big. From a red zone standpoint, Indiana has a 74% touchdown percentage with 54 touchdowns in 73 red zone trips. Miami has a 67.7% touchdown percentage with 42 touchdowns in 62 red zone trips. So once again, the Hoosiers are stronger on defense as well, holding opponents to just 9 touchdowns and 26 red zone attempts. That comes out to about 34.6% there. And the Hurricanes only allowed 32 red zone trips with a touchdown percentage of 53.1. So half of the time that a team gets in the end zone or in the red zone on the Hurricanes, they're getting into the end zone, right? And then a big part of this is, Miami with the officiating crew, right? Miami plays about as disciplined as any service academy. Only Army has fewer penalty yards per game, which they average 21.9 this season. And Indiana averages 26.9, while Miami ranks 85th with 57. So that's a huge gap there. You've talked about Miami being really undisciplined when it comes to it. You see it multiple times throughout the other games. They'd get right into, midfield, and then they'd kick themselves in the foot with a false start, anything like that. So really, for me, big on big. I don't think it's so much prep versus backyard. I think both these teams are really physical. I think Indiana brings that physicalness to their playing style. They play that old school Big Ten football. It's something that you don't typically see when you look at these two teams of really what college football is nowadays, when they really want to spread the ball out and do that, get down the field, make explosive plays on the outside, run with their quarterbacks, a real dual threat quarterback. That's not really what we have here. Both quarterbacks are good at making things happen with their feet, but it's not what you would call dual threat quarterback, so to speak. So keys to the game for me, really easy. Miami cannot let Mendoza get comfortable. They have to get after him. If he gets into a rhythm like he did against Oregon, he's just going to pick them apart. It's just going to be easy. They must make it a grind-out game. They cannot hope to get into something that's easy for them, like letting Mendoza get comfortable and then want to go back and forth just scoring points, because that's just not going to work in Miami's favor, I don't think. Convert third downs. Hey, that's a big one. That's one that's easy to get there. But if you see Indiana is the best at converting third downs, they need to match that. If Indiana for some reason goes 9 for 11 converting third downs, it's going to be a long day for Indiana, or for Miami, if they are not matching that. And then they need a fourth quarter Fiesta Bowl Carson Beck when he is called upon. They need him to play like he did in the fourth quarter when he's called upon. They don't need to live in the downs where he's making stuff happen, throwing it at tight windows on third downs, things of that nature. But he needs to make accurate throws, and he needs to make plays with his legs when he's called upon. For Indiana, super simple. Limit the rush, right? Stop the rush. They've done really well over these past couple games, playing too high, not having to get into the box. There is a size difference between Indiana's front seven and the Miami's front five, but they need to be able to limit that rush to where they don't have to drop a guy down into the box, let Miami's explosive playmakers get over the top of them. Make Carson Beck beat you. Just as I said that they need Carson Beck to be the fourth quarter Carson Beck, he hasn't been that all year. Make Carson Beck beat you by limiting the rush. And then number 3, the simple thing, play 2025, 2026 Indiana football. There's not much else to say there. Just keep playing the game that you've been playing. You've been the best team all year. There's no reason why you should show up and throw a dud. Miami is going to come into this game, and they're going to give you the best game of the season, I think. They're going to come. They're going to be motivated. They're the underdogs, 8.5-point favorites. That is huge, especially this is a home game for Miami is what it is, and you're still 8.5-point underdogs, and they're going to take a lot of disrespect to that. And there's a lot that Miami can do here to flex their muscles, especially, on that defensive side of the ball, to get after Mendoza. If they can stop the rush and make this a grind-out game, I'm not, this is going to be the hardest game for Indiana. It probably is, because Miami has come in as probably one of the hottest teams in the country outside of Indiana. So it's going to be a lot. I don't think that as I started into this week, I was thinking that I'm going to take Indiana to cover the 8.5 and go. But I think right now I am going to say that Miami covers. So if it was a betting scenario, I would take Miami plus 8.5. But I think Indiana wins this game. But they win it with like a 4-point margin here, 4 or 5-point margin in that aspect. It's somewhere in that 31-27 kind of ball range again. It may be even lower, maybe 24-20. But I think it's in that range. Miami's going to come in super motivated. They're going to want to give Indiana the best game of the season, and they are going to. But Indiana is just too talented at the end of the day. I think Mendoza is going to make those plays when he's needed to, and Carson Beck, he's going to be Carson Beck and make a bad decision at the wrong time, and it's going to hurt Miami in the end. But there's a lot of things that Miami can do to prove me wrong, and they 100% could. But I'm going to stick with Indiana on this one. Pretty easy. So
Yeah, I think one of the things that you pointed out there that stands out to me is, and it just occurred to me when I was thinking back to Miami or Indiana's playoff run, is Alabama tried blitzing Fernando Mendoza and making him uncomfortable. Now, they didn't get home a lot, so it wasn't real hard for him to be comfortable in the pocket. But I'm thinking to myself, if Miami's not able to do what they've been doing with these two defensive ends, and they have to send pressure, I have full confidence that Fernando Mendoza is going to be able to stand in the pocket and make the right decisions still, and pick them apart.
yeah,
Which, you know, if you're going to put the game into Fernando Mendoza's hands, that's not a position you really want to be in if you're Miami. So I think that's what makes this Indiana team so difficult to beat, is that they can beat you in a multitude of ways because none of their guys are guys that, are just off the charts. They don't have any one thing that they rely on. They are very, very balanced all the way across the board. Balanced defensively, balanced offensively. There's nothing that you can just take away and say this is going to beat this Indiana team. And when you look back on their season as a whole, they've won in a multitude of ways. Also, they've played close games. They've played teams that are very strong defensively, like that Iowa team that they beat. They've beaten Oregon twice, who is what most people would consider a high-flying offense. They beat the brakes out of Alabama, which most people would consider a very athletic and talented group. So I feel like they've seen everything that they need to see. But Miami's two defensive ends, I think, are absolute game wreckers, and that'll be the most interesting part of the game for me.
the easiest thing and something that you don't normally get in a college, championship game is common opponents is what it is. And it's not too hard. You don't have to look too far back to find a common opponent for both Miami and Indiana. That would be Ohio State. Indiana beat Ohio State 13-10 in the Big Ten championship, and then Miami beat them 24-10 in the Cotton Bowl. Both of those teams, Ohio State has one of the better defenses of the whole college football season, and offenses as well. They were a great team, or a good team at least. And if you were to look at both of those games, Miami did a really good job of running the ball. Carson Beck made throws when he needed to, and they got after the quarterback, and they made it a hard game for him. They do that same game plan. They could go in there. They could absolutely win. Indiana, on the other hand, they did handle business when they played them too. It was a much closer gap. I think there was a little more tension in that one. Ohio State was feeling a little better about themselves at the time of not losing, but you could easily go back, compare those two games. It's really easy to see that this is going to be a close game and probably not a blowout. So Miami can get after the quarterback. They don't need to bring backers just as many times as Bama did. They don't have the talent on the outside, so it's going to be a good game. But I think at the end of the day, Fernando Mendoza is just going to be able to make a couple more plays, and their defense is going to be able to make Carson Beck make the bad decision. That's what's going to be the difference in it. So, yeah.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. So, who did you pick?
Indiana, but they don't win by 8.5. I got Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like a 3 to 4 point game, I think, is probably where it ends up.
That means that Miami's going to win because we both picked them. But
probably.
Oh well. That'll be good. Yeah. Yeah, keys to the game there. That's what we got. So Monday, January 19th. This has been way too long. College football greed is ridiculous that they're playing this game on a Monday. This should be a Saturday night game. At least or Friday again, right? Friday night game, Saturday night game, something like that. It's ridiculous that we have to wait all the way until Monday to watch this game. During a Monday. Nobody really likes watching football on Monday, right?
I got Monday off, so I'm cool with it.
But it's Monday night going into the next day. They need to figure out a better way to do this, work with the NFL. I know they don't want to go against the NFL on a Saturday because they would take all the ratings, but you got to figure something out here, right? Only have one game on Saturday for the NFL and then 3 on Sunday. Like, work with it. The NFL is getting so much free. They don't have to invest a dime in this pipeline, and they get all this free talent that's developed more than it was when it came out of high school, and they still get to bully them around no matter what. So somebody's got to work there together. But But yeah, you got anything else on that? We're both taking Indiana, and that's it. I mean, it's easy. That's the last college football game of the season, so it's really sad. But
Last game of the season, Brent. Can't hold anything back now.
yeah, don't hold anything back now there. But anyways, well, if that's it, then man, I guess that's it. That was pretty quick. I feel like it should have been longer, but oh well.
Life comes at you fast.
Life does come at you really fast. Okay, well then, if we're good there, we're gonna get over into Sunday. Sunday. Here we go.
Well, look, the rest is important, but that doesn't. The myth number 2 is that ensures a fast start. It doesn't. You understand this. We're playing a team that's coming off one of their biggest wins in the last 10 years. And so we've got to earn a fast start and take advantage of the energy, take advantage of the rest, but it has to be done out here. And today was a good start.
That is Sean Payton talking to the media earlier this week as Buffalo prepares to travel to Denver with the momentum of a wild card win. But the Broncos are home favorites, despite the Bills' recent surge here. The Denver's defense has been among the league's best, while Buffalo's offensive firepower, especially at the quarterback, in one-time MVP Josh Allen, keeps this a tight matchup. That was Sean Payton there talking about the rust that could be acquired on a bye week from a team, and what they try to do to get ready for that. So it's essentially saying, hey, what it matters is you get your players rest, and then it matters what you do on the practice field, and it starts right there as far as your intensity, what you bring, the momentum that you bring. Big time matchup here. This is a 3:30 game on CBS, I believe. And you've got the Broncos favored by 1.5 points. Over under is 45.5. The Broncos narrowly won. Well, did they play earlier this? I don't think they did. I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong thing here. But we've got some big injuries in this game, really. And it really comes from the Bills side. You've got safety Jordan Poyer that's going to be out with a hamstring. Their rookie cornerback, Maxwell Harrison, is going to be out. They've got a bunch of questionables with backup running back Ty Johnson, their wide receiver Curtis Samuel, Ed Oliver. They've got stuff all over the place. Damar Hamlin, all dealing with injuries. Josh Allen's reportedly not 100%, but he said earlier today that he is good to go. He's feeling good. It is playoff football, so he's going to make it through there. On the Broncos side, they've been pretty healthy. They just have some questionable guys that are normal throughout this. But it's going to be interesting. The Bills are shorthanded at wide receiver. They have found some recent stuff. Brandon Cooks, being able to get him open down the field. James Cook, he is a big time playmaker, and yeah, there's a lot riding on this matchup here. So yeah, what do you think, Emilio?
This one's a weird one because obviously when you have Josh Allen, there's that alone that can swing a game in any direction. But this Broncos defense goes right along with the Texans defense. They're probably number 2 in the league in my mind as the second best defense in the NFL. Their back end is pretty much a clamp. They are able to get a pass rush. They play very, very fast on defense, but I don't know. It's weird because offensively they're not very impressive. They leave a lot to be desired. They've had spurts where they look good. They've had spurts where they look really, really bad. And I don't know what you're going to get after a bye week, and you never really saw a whole lot of consistency from them offensively. And I think that to go against this Bills team, no matter how good your defense is, this Bills team finds a way to score points.
Yeah, do you think the Bills just maybe just get hot all of a sudden after beating, especially the Jaguars were a good defense, right?
Right. So yeah, the Jags defense was no slump, and they were consistently good all year. And
for sure,
the Bills found a way. So to me, if you're looking at it from an even playing field, because I don't think there's that big of a gap between the Jags defense and the Broncos defense, and the Bills were able to score, 30? Was it 30?
No, I think it was like 27 or something like that.
27?
Yeah.
So I think in my mind, the Broncos should win, but I don't think they're going to. I think that gap that they have offensively is what's going to be their Achilles heel in this one. I think Josh Allen just finds a way to at least get them to the AFC Championship. So I think the Bills are going to find a way to win this one. It's going to rely heavily on James Cook and Josh Allen for obvious reasons because they don't really have anybody else for it to rely on. I could see the Dalton Kincaid having a big role in this one, especially with all the decimation that they've had at wide receiver. So
Yep.
if you're a betting person, take a look at Dalton Kincaid's betting lines and see what you can get because I think he'll have a big role in this game.
Yep. Yeah, here's Josh Allen on his depleted wide receiver room.
Your wide receiver room takes multiple hits. Now, how do you guys move forward with legitimately half of the receivers you had 4 days ago?
Yeah, obviously not an ideal situation, but I still trust that room completely. Whoever we bring up needs to step up, and we have full confidence that they will. This week is going to be very important throughout the practices that we have of making sure that we're getting on the same page with timing and just understanding where guys can go, try to utilize their strengths to the best of our abilities. But I got no doubt that whoever's going to be up in those spots is going to do their job, step up, and then help us win or help us make plays.
What he's saying, he's just saying, hey, look, I'm going to make some plays. I'm going to throw you the damn ball and just catch it. So you ain't got to do anything else except just be alive in those 5 seconds of me getting the snap, running around, throwing you the ball, and just catch the damn ball. So he's a complete X factor. I think it comes back to, talk about Patrick Surtain and him shutting down your number one receiver, and they don't have a number one receiver, so he's not going to know what the hell to do. I just trust Josh Allen way more in these scenarios, and I don't have a reason not to pick him. The Broncos have a very good defense. Their offense can be sneaky good at times. If they can get R.J. Harvey going early, help Bo Nix in the play action game where they could get Courtland Sutton and some of these guys down the field and get them open on slants. That's all big ifs. You haven't seen it consistently from Denver. You see Josh Allen, week in and week out. I'm taking the Bills here. I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably going to be like a 3 to 7 point kind of game in my opinion. But, Josh Allen, he's been the real deal. I think he puts the team on his back. Easy goes. Just it don't matter who's out there, It could be the damn water boy. Just catch the damn ball when I throw it to you. So, easy for me. Yep.
I think
Nothing
the one thing that could happen is if Denver's defensive line gets going early and gets Buffalo into obvious passing situations, that could be a problem.
Every down's a passing situation for Buffalo. What are you talking about? James either Cook's going 1 yard or 100 yards. It don't matter. So we're both on the Bills there. That's scary. So the Broncos probably win. Don't take that one there.
Body feel. I feel amazing. Let me just say, just so grateful, blessed to be back. And, I think obviously when all this happened, I didn't really think about the possibility of returning in season, but, the way things progressed and being able to have this opportunity to be back with my teammates, and have a chance at helping them win this week and so on and so forth, that's my only goal going forward.
I don't know if y'all can tell yet, but I've figured out some new shit on here, and I've got media stuff going in here, and I don't know if I like it or not yet, but you're gonna have to live with it for this episode. But that was Fred Warner, the possible return candidate here. He resumed with some limited practice after missing most of the season with a broken ankle, and he could possibly return. I think he broke his ankle around week 3 or something like that, and now he's already ready to make a return back to potentially help the 49ers as they travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in this NFC divisional round. It is a Saturday game, 8 o'clock Eastern. It is going to be 7 o'clock Central Time. This is an NBC game, I believe. NFC West rivals renew the rivalry in Seattle. We saw this from week 18. Seattle beat them 13-3, made the 49ers just look like they didn't deserve on the same field here. They shut down McCaffrey. the Niners really were struggling in that, like they've struggled all year, just with injuries and stuff like that, and having inconsistent weapons throughout the game. And that kind of played over into last week with Philadelphia as well. They had to do some trickery to really get the ball down the field and especially get it into the end zone. You can never count out Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy always plays really hard. He's turned into, one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League. He's been that for a couple of years, but I think this year people are really understanding, like, hey, this isn't just, a scheme here. He can actually throw the ball and do things good. I don't trust Seattle whatsoever. I'm going to take the upset here with the Niners. I think if they can run the ball, they can do well. If Fred Warner comes back, he's going to just give that defense just a little bit of spark here. Sam Darnold in playoff games does not show up. He hasn't played in many, but he doesn't show up typically. I would really hate if DeMarcus Lawrence made it to the NFC Championship game after playing for the Cowboys all those years. It's for some stupid reason I'd rather think that the Niners would go to the NFC Championship game than just DeMarcus Lawrence. So that's pretty stupid for me to think, but whatever. Really, if you look at the Seahawks, I don't get what all their weapon and all the hoopla is about with them. You've got Jackson Smith and Jigba, and then after that, it falls off pretty hard. You got Cooper Kupp. He's not the same Cooper Kupp that he was when he was a Triple Crown winner, 3 years ago. They've got two running backs that run decently well, and Kenneth Walker and
Zach Charbonnet.
There you go, Charbonnet. She said she wants some Marvin Gaye. That's what came to my head when I'm anyway. They run pretty well, but I just don't trust this Seahawks team whatsoever. I could see this being where they completely just do what Seattle does and fall on their face, and the Niners come in here and they just keep trucking along. I guess really part of me wants to go back and talk shit to those Seahawks people that were commenting on my Facebook post, and then part of me just hates the Niners really bad and wants to see them lose, and I don't know which one wants to win more so. But give me the Niners to win a close game here.
Yeah, I think for me, I also don't trust the Seahawks. I don't trust their offense. They did not look very good all season long. They relied heavily on their kicker to win them, their kicker and their defense to win them a number of games. Their kicker kicking 5 to 6 field goals to get a win, and their defense scoring 2 touchdowns in multiple games to get wins. And when you get to the playoff time and you play this Niners team, I don't necessarily think that your defense is just going to get 2 touchdowns. And I don't see their kicker being able to just hit 5 or 6 to keep them alive. So for me, also, the Niners obviously decimated with injuries as well, but at least for them, they've had this problem since week 3. So it's not unusual for them to be without George Kittle. It's not unusual for them to have 4 wide receivers that nobody's heard shit about because they're just regular guys. And it's not unusual for teams to harp in on trying to stop Christian McCaffrey. So everything that Seattle's going to throw at him, I believe Kyle Shanahan will have a plan for. And I think that's kind of what he does best is, he lets you see so much all season long. And in just about every play set that he has, there's a wrinkle off of those plays that nobody's seen yet. And I feel like he purposely waits till playoff time to throw those in. And, all it takes is one play that you hadn't seen yet to get you a touchdown and swing momentum in the right direction. I think if you're the 49ers, you know what's on the table. If you win this one, you go back home, literally.
Yep.
Well, I guess not necessarily. I guess you would have to go to whatever.
No, yeah, you'd either have to go to LA or Chicago. Yep.
But you know what the end game is, and that's to get back home for the Super Bowl. So I don't know that they're able to do that, but I think they're able to win this one. And I am absolutely going with the Niners, and I'm definitely ready and loaded to talk shit to all those Seahawks fans that came after me on that last clip.
Yep. That probably means that the Niners are going to lose here, guys. But Seattle's favored by 7 points. Total point here is 44.5 there. So I would take the over on that, and then money line San Francisco plus 270. So that's pretty good odds there if you're going to roll with the Niners. And I think we're going to be right. Seattle just shits the bed all the time. And Yeah, screw the Seahawks. I could care less about both those teams. So I had another clip to play, but I'm not going to play them because I'm just pissed off about them. So they can suck it. I don't doubt anybody cares, but anyways. So, oh man, that's we gotta be nice to these Seahawk fans.
No, we don't.
Win on the road. How important was that to just say, okay, we're over that hurdle, we can move on, we can win games on the world in the playoffs where that's not an issue?
Yeah, that's the biggest one. Knowing the position we're in, knowing like as a wild card, like you got to go on the road, you got to win games. A lot of people say you can't do it. It's the home field advantage. But for me, it was very big for our organization to get that first road playoff win and show that, hey, we can do it no matter what's happened in the past. Hey, this is the new Texans. We're here. It's a different, it's a different era right now. So it's a lot of firsts to be had. And, I'm happy to be here with this team and leading us into a lot of firsts.
Man, that was Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans talking about his new team and the new organization, as he calls the new Texans, and the culture that they have coming off their first ever road playoff victory against the Steelers. They're feeling pretty high. These are two teams with contrasting strengths here as the Texans boast a top-notch defense while the Patriots enter with a really high, powered offense that can get you at times and home field advantage. This is going to shape up to grind between discipline and opportunistic playmaking on both sides of the football here. Drake May's been really well, done really well on that side of the ball. He's come a long way from his year before. Having Mike Vrabel there to help him, get going and all those kind of things. Here's Drake May talking about that Texans defense, though, that is going to be very stout, like they've carried this team all season long. And how do you put it, Emilio? They just they go out there and
knock the chocolate out of folks.
Knock the chocolate out of folks. Here's Drake May.
Guess you're after.
Drake, what's it been like this week watching a film festival of the Houston people?
Yeah, they fly around. They're relentless. They're great up front. They're great in the back end. They got great linebackers. They're great all around. They're great coaching. So we got our hands full, and we know it's going to be a tough game. We got to play the game the right way, and we got great players all around. And man, all the hype is fulfilling and is deserving on film. What I've seen. So we got to be able to stay ahead of the chains. And I know we got a tough task, but we have our hands full and play complimentary football, and from there just try to find ways to pick up first down, score some points.
Man, Emilio, you've been really high on both of these teams all year, especially the Patriots. You've been one of the bigger supporters. They're favored by 3 points here. The over-under is 40.5, and money line is Houston plus 142. What's going to give here, Emilio, for you?
What's the weather looking like?
It's going to be cold, obviously. It is in New England.
Is there going to be snow?
Let me see here what my little icon is. It shows just cloudy and 36 is what it's going to be. This is on ESPN, by the way, at 2 or 3 Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. So,
man, I've been thinking about this one all week long. I keep going back and forth. If I rewatch that clip from DeMeco Ryans and I start thinking about what they did to Aaron Rodgers, I would pick the Texans. And then if I start thinking about what the Patriots did all year long offensively, and then look at that clip from their defense last week and what they were able to do to Justin Herbert, it's hard to pick against either one of these teams. But offensively, I still don't trust C.J. Stroud, and I have some confidence in this Patriots offense. So I think whenever I look at it, I got an offense that I have some confidence in and a defense that brought me some confidence last week after what they did to the Chargers. And then I have this Texans defense that is just so damn good and an offense that is miserable. So who are you taking? You tell me who you're taking first, and then I'll decide.
I have a hard time picking against the Texans defense is the problem. They're so opportunistic and they play really physical. At times this year, the Patriots have struggled when they cannot run the ball consistently, and Houston does a really good job of stopping the run. Drake May's but I just don't see it. When I watched the last time I watched the Patriots, I went, man, who do they really have that are playmakers out there? Stephon Diggs is taking a step back. I don't trust Ramondre Stevenson. Henderson is young. Drake May can play really good plays at times. So I'm going to take the Texans in this one in a really close game. If they can hold the Patriots in that 20-point range, they're going to have a really good opportunity. Now, last week against the Steelers did a really good job against the Texans, and really that Texans offense only scored 16 points or something like that. The Texans defense scored half of the damn points. So CJ Stroud and that side of the football is really going to have to figure something out with Woody Marks. They're not going to have Nico Collins in this game. That's another big game here that we didn't talk about. And so Nico Collins is out. And I think that's about the biggest thing, but that's their best threat on the Texans side of the football. They've had to play a long year without him. So give me the Texans. I think they're going to be ready, and that defense is going to carry them to the AFC Championship.
Okay. The Patriots are going back to the AFC Championship. I made up my mind.
The quickest rebuild in fucking NFL history.
You're damn right it is. I think just what Mike Vrabel brings so much juice and so much energy and always has his guys ready to go. I don't see them just laying down lightly. I think this is going to be a close game by all means because that Texans defense is very good. But I think the Patriots offense does enough, and their defense, I think, is what wins it. The Patriots defense used to win you lots of fantasy games, scoring multiple touchdowns. And I think they're back to being one of those defenses that people don't want to face. And especially if you're the Texans without Nico Collins and a running game that I still don't really trust. Woody Marks had a big week last week. I don't see that happening again. I see them putting CJ Stroud in a position that he has not looked comfortable in all year. And when I think about it, I think the Patriots just find a way to come away with it and back to prominence and be waiting on the Bills.
Yeah. Texans straight up. Take the money line in those that 40 really scares me as far as an over-under. If I had to guess, I'd say take the over, really. I mean, you'll probably pay out way more if you take the under and it actually hits. But for some reason, 40 points in an NFL game it's happened, but I don't know. It's not my money, so don't come after me if you lose it all.
Gamble responsibly.
Yeah, we're going to gamble responsibly 100%. And, anyways, so.
Playing Lambeau, Soldier Field, bad weather. What have you taken out of those previous? How does it affect your game?
Yeah, I think each game is kind of unique, right? You can't just bunch them all together. Played in Philly back in the day, there was 6 inches of snow on the ground. Played in other games where it's just cold and dry. You just got to go figure out what the elements are, how it's going to affect the ball, go play. We had wind last week. What's that like? How's the ball moving when you throw it down the field, all those kind of things. So you just kind of figure it out as you go. Each one is its own unique set of circumstances. I know that both teams are playing in it. You just go out there and execute the best you can. I know Sean and I will be in constant dialogue on, hey, how do we want to call this game? How do we want to get this thing going to give ourselves the best chance to go out there and be successful?
Everybody's worried about Matthew Stafford in these cold weather games, like he didn't play in the NFC North for majority of his career. But you have a Sunday night spotlight featuring the Gritty Bears, who just notched their first playoff win in 15 years against a veterans Rams team that is playoff experience and a potent offense. You have Matthew Stafford, obviously, that is bringing a elite quarterback experience there, and he's going to be the MVP of the regular season with a really balanced, explosive offense with Puka Nacua, two-headed running back in Kyron Williams and Blake Corum. On the other side of the ball, Caleb Williams. He looks like he's the quarterback that Chicago's been searching for since
Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman did a pretty good job. Rex Grossman did a pretty good job. Caleb Williams is what we all thought Jake Cutler was going to be, but he's just gayer. So, yeah. Anyways, anybody that paints their fingernails and all this shit, yeah.
And we mean gay in the not good at sports kind of way, but that goes without saying.
Yeah, exactly. But he's an exciting quarterback that they've been searching for. I was going to say since McMahon, but you said Grossman. You're right. So, but Anyways, yeah, they've got DeAndre Swift that's been pretty good. Kyle Mongolia has done good. They've got a deep.
That's not it.
What's his name? I don't
That's
know what his name
definitely
is.
not it.
What's his last name? It's like Mongolia or Montreal, or I don't know what the hell his name is, honestly.
Kyle Lim.
What?
Mongolia?
Yeah, his last name starts with an M. I'm not that. I may be dumb, but I ain't that dumb. I'm gonna find him now. Anyways, you got really a two-headed running back there for the Bears as well. How do you say Monangai? How do you say it?
Manungai.
Manungai. There you go. Mongolian Manungai. I don't know. All the same shit at the end. You have the Rams favored by 4.5 here. The over/under is 51.5, and then money line is plus 164 for the Bears. This is going to be. They're saying it's going to be a cold game. Let's see what the weather's like here. You've got
snow.
20 degrees and snow. Man.
So
hey,
somebody brought me a stat today that Matthew Stafford is 1-14 in the snow.
Man. Well, he played on the Lions, so you can't hurt him. You can't. I mean, most of those games were probably played in Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And then he played one in Philly when it was a complete snowstorm. You remember that blizzard?
Probably played in Chicago.
Yeah, maybe in Chicago too. I mean, hey, you can't blame him that bad. I mean, this one for me, the Bears were able to come back after they did absolutely. They looked terrible against the Packers. I think the Rams are just they're more talented. They have a better quarterback. I trust their defense more. I trust their coach a little more. Ben Johnson has been a good coach this year, but he's got Sean McVay's been there. He's done that. He's won a Super Bowl. All this good stuff. They're both really smart and talented. Experience versus youth. I'm going to take the Rams in a slight edge there, just because even if it's snowing, you have two running backs that you can lean on. And then Puka Nacua, he just seems like it doesn't matter what's going on. The dude could have one leg and he's still going to have 100 yards receiving, it feels like. He just, I don't know. He goes into that Islander, spirits and shit and starts, I don't know what he conjures up, but he does something. He makes it happen. So.
Yeah.
What? What, am I getting too loose over here on this shit or what?
No, you're doing great, man. I'm having fun here.
Yeah, we are having fun. I don't think there's an injury report just before you make your bet, just so you know. Nick McLeod at cornerback's out. DJ Moore was limited with his knee, but he'll play. Dunze was limited. He'll play. CJ Gardner was a full participant, returning for concussion there. And the Rams, they don't have anybody. So, they're
I've been on, since the first time somebody asked me, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl, I've said the Rams. And I'm not moving off that with this one. This Bears team has been exciting. They've really done a full turnaround with what they got going on. But I think they're the team. What they have is what they don't have what the Rams have. That's what they aspire to be. It's a younger group. You mentioned it. It's youth versus experience, and I think the experience wins in this situation. I just trust them a lot more. I trust the Rams all the way around a lot more than I do this Bears team. There's been times where they've looked real bad, especially in those first three quarters against the Packers. And there's been times where they look really good, especially in the fourth quarter against the Packers. So I think when you look at what the Rams have done all year, outside of that weird little slide they went on towards the end, which, and they didn't play necessarily great against the Panthers last week, but they find a way to win, and that's who they are. That's what they do. They're hard to stop for all four quarters. I mean, Matthew Stafford is an absolute dog. So even if they can't sling it, you touched on it. They got Blake Corum, who played at Michigan and is a Michigan man, knows exactly what it's like to play in the cold. He used to have monster games.
Michigan ain't gonna do nothing. Get out of here.
He used to have monster games in the snow against Ohio State. Ask Landon. He'll remember that.
I knew you were going there.
So, they have a run game that they can lean on. They have a veteran quarterback that they can trust. Give me the Rams. The Rams, this is an easy one. I'm not moving off it. And, Kyle Mongolia doesn't scare me.
Hey.
Bro.
Might as well be barbecue chicken.
I thought you were paying a tribute to my Yamaha Kawasaki thing that I did.
Yamaha, Kawasaki, Toshiba, Samsung. Shout out Scary Movie 4, right? 3, whatever that was. Jingle. Yeah, man, that probably means the Rams are going to lose. We both picked.
We picked a lot of these same teams.
Yeah, we did. So we both picked Indiana. We both picked the Bills. We both picked the Niners. We split on the Texans Patriots, and then we both picked the Rams there. So potentially only one of us could win one game this week.
Hey, I saw the field real well last week in the NFL.
Hey, 60% of the time it works all the time.
That didn't even make sense, really.
The experts say, baby. Yeah, so, anyways, but yeah, sorry, we're getting a little goofy here. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of great football. I mean, enjoy the last college football game. We will probably honestly do a reaction following the game Monday night. It's going to be a late one, but I think that's one, especially if it's a really close game, that we're going to want to get on and talk about and put something out. Don't know what we'll do about the NFL stuff. Maybe Sunday night it's going to be it starts early enough to we'll know if it's a blowout or not, if it's worth. I mean, maybe if it's a blowout, we come on and do something. We'll figure it out there and see how it goes. But yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything else other than John Harbaugh is going to the Giants. So congratulations to the Giants on getting past this prime coach. And
but when the Cowboys got Mike McCarthy, they were headed to the Super Bowl.
I had the Super Bowl this year too. What are you talking about? And Mike McCarthy sat in his basement and just grinded tape for a whole 2 years. He was ready to go. He was an analytics freak out there. But yeah, for some reason these Giants fans think that they're going to go and they're going to have this superior. I mean, they're taking their offensive coordinator with them from the Ravens. So if he could do it with Lamar, he's definitely going to do it with Jackson Dart. I did see somebody say, "What are you talking about? They have the younger Lamar and Derrick Henry, just the white version too." So, right, but
look like Eric Sermon, the generic version.
Yeah, exactly. It's all dudes in here. These bitches. I'm sorry. Anyways, we greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in. This was a short one. This is the shortest one we've ever done other than the reactions. But in all seriousness, man, we really like doing this. This is a lot of fun. We look forward to it. The recap to these games is going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, man, we appreciate it. Doesn't matter if you stayed here for 5 minutes, the whole thing. Tell those folks that said they jumped off really early that we still appreciate them for coming in. Check our social media stuff out. Check out our sponsor, Brewster Bird Hunts, on their social, Facebook, Instagram, their website. They're fantastic. You're not going to find a better dove hunt around here. And just enjoy this weekend with your family, all that good stuff. Stay warm. The cold front's coming. And just know Jesus loves you. So, you good, Emilio?
I'm all good.
I'm good. All right. This has been an episode of In-Laws and Out of Bounds. Peace.